Hi, in the previous episode we built a personal assistant on AI agent that manages our services that we connected to it. And as we saw, one single agent handled pretty much everything, writing emails, managing our calendar, and prioritizing tasks. Not bad for just one assistant. And this setup is called single agent system. But what if we want to add more responsibilities, options, more detailed instructions, for example, on how to write an email or how manage our calendar? Well, in that case, our agent will end up with a massive system prompt and a huge list of available tools. And that's where the problems start, because even if our agent doesn't get confused among available tools and instructions, although it will, a team of sub-agents, each specializing on specific role, will perform much better anyway. So in our case, it will be one for writing emails, the second one for time management, and the third one for task tracking. And this way we can write a dedicated system prompts for each agent with more precise instructions, as well as choose models better suited for specific task. For example, for writing email agent, we might pick a more creative human-like model. Let's start by adding new actions to our scenario, giving it more capabilities. So let's start with the Google Calendar. We can list events, create event, and let's see what else can we add. I would also like to update event and delete event would be useful too in some cases. For Gmail, we will add, let's see, we have create a draft, find the email, unreads. Probably it would be useful to find all the inbox messages. So we will list the inbox and we will name it right away. Email inbox. Also, let's add create draft reply. And for Todoist app, let's add mark task as completed. And since we have sections in our Todoist, let's give the agent ability to see, to list these sections. So we add list sections node. And now let's connect separate agents to these tools. And let's do a little bit of alignment of the scenario. And let's give the agents descriptive names by what they are doing. So the names will be pretty simple. The first one is task manager, the second one is email manager, and the third one, as you might guess, is calendar manager. You know what we're missing? I would also like to be able to update an existing tasks in Todoist, but there's no such an action on Latenode. So what do we do in this case? This is where the HTTP request node comes to the rescue, so we can implement it ourselves. It's not as hard as might seem. You've got two options. The first one is to open the Todoist API documentation and look up all the required parameters for the API call we need, or ask our personal assistant to generate the curl request for us. Of course, the second option is quicker, and so let's try that. Let's ask our assistant to search and check whether the Todoist API allows us to perform the action we need. Then we'll ask it to write an example curl request for that call, and we'll use that example to configure our node. Alright, we got the response from Stanley. Now let's plug the suggested parameters into the HTTP node. First we connect the HTTP node to our agent. Update task. For tool description, we'll write updates the tasks title and date time. For URL, we put the suggested URL from Stanley. Just copy paste it. And here we have task ID. So we will ask our agent to put the task ID here. Task ID from list task. Next, here we have the HTTP method, which is patch. And we have headers. The first header is authorization, where we need to put our access token or API key. And you already have one authorized on Latenode, so you can put it here as a variable, like that. Okay, let's put the another HTTP header, which is content type and application JSON, and finish it with the body. Copy paste the body and put the from AI agent operators, task name, updated task name. And here we have date time. Now we just need to configure the rest of the tools we have added the same way we did in the previous video. You can watch how I set them up, pause the video and replicate the settings on your side. And after that we can test the HTTP request. And now for the final step, writing prompts. As you can see, I set up the prompts behind the scenes and you can use them as a reference for yours. Their structure can be much simpler than in a single agent system and more flexible in terms of describing your preferences and details of how each manager, each agent should handle your calendar and email. Our Stanley now becomes the supervisor of these agents, so we'll need to rewrite his prompt accordingly. Now we can test our multi-agent personal assistant. As you can see, my task dates are total mess. They have glitched on the wrong year. And I could have prepared for this video by manually clicking through each task, moving the dates backwards, and then doing the same in calendar, constantly checking and matching the dates. And that would have taken hundreds of clicks and around half an hour of work probably. But now I have a whole team of assistants, so let's delegate this job to them. And the agent asked us if we want to skip recurrent tasks and what to do with past due tasks. So we will say skip recurrent tasks and keep them as is. So the personal assistant handled the task, and we have just tested our HTTP node. We can now see it relatively updated 23 times with no errors. And let's check our to-doist. And yes, we can see that Stanley and his team of agents worked precisely, saving me a ton of time and effort. Now he suggests just scheduling the past few tasks, and let's do that and ask him, great, Stanley. Okay, great, he rescheduled our tasks. And now let's ask him to sync our Google Calendar with these tasks. We'll tell him. And he did a great job with all the events we had in the calendar, updating them iteratively as well. He even double-checked with us about the last event in the calendar. As you can see, this barely took us any time at all. I encourage you to keep experimenting with your requests, improving your system prompt, and adding more tools and agents. And that's all for today. See you in the next episode.